Let's rewind a bit. Trump went all in on tariffs, jacking them up to a jaw-dropping 145% on Chinese goods, with some products slabbed as high as 245%. In response, well, China fired back with its own set of retaliatory tariffs up to 125%, turning the world's biggest economies into rival shopkeepers, throwing price tags at each other. So what was the goal? What was the agenda? To bring China to its knees. Now what has happened? What's the reality? Well, both the knees are creaking, and now whispers are getting louder and louder that Trump is ready to dial things down. Reports suggest that tariffs could be cut to some 50 to 65 range. Yes, still painful, but a big drop from the current rates. The plan, a tiered tariff system. Goods that pose no security threat to the United States could face just 35% tariff, while other items seen as strategically sensitive might still get hit with a heavy bat. When asked, Trump brushed off the current sky-high tariffs with a classic shrug, with classic Trump reply, and said, "They are going to be very nice, they are going to be very nice, and we'll see what happens." This is what he said in his classic manner. But I'll give you the translation. The translation is, let's hit rewind and pretend the tariff escalation never happened. But here is the twist. When Trump claimed that trade talks with China were happening every day, China basically rolled its eyes and said, nope, not true. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce called the Trump's comments, and I quote, groundless, compared them to trying to catch the wind. In other words, pure fiction. Beijing has made it quite clear that they are open to talks, but only if it's on equal terms and with mutual respect. That's a diplomatic code for saying, stop playing the bully. That said, even China seems to be blinking, facing rising costs and supply chain headaches. Beijing is considering suspending some of its own tariffs, especially on some of military and medical equipments and essential chemicals from like ethane, which China's plastic and healthcare industry desperately need and desperately rely on. In fact, traders are already circulating lists of US products that might be exempted, and this list includes from semiconductors to life-saving devices, as both sides feel the economic pain of whole tariff mess. Meanwhile, Trump's former envoy to China, Terry Branstad, has hinted that cuts are coming soon. He says Trump wants a deal quicker. The question is, can two sides meet halfway before markets and manufacturers lose patience in this market? In the end, after all these slogans and sanctions, both Washington and Beijing seems to be tip-topping towards the same realization. What is that? Tariff may sound strong, but cooperation, even wrapped in ego and tariff, is still stronger. This is what they are realizing now. The war of tariffs might soon give way to the truce of necessity.